Duncan!
By the Maker, it's a dwarf.
Lord Idukan, what are you doing here alone? Where are your troops?
It's good to see you again, Duncan, or to become clean. I think just it is good to see you again, Duncan. Let's start with a formal-ish greeting.
And you as well. Although I'm still filled with questions, such as why are you here in these tunnels alone? May I ask what happened?
But Balin's betrayed me. True, but it's not important. It's I have been exiled.
Exiled? To these tunnels of death? What crime could be so terrible?
I do not think matters of dwarven honor are any business of ours. You need not answer, friend.
I was betrayed by my brother. True. That is certainly true. I think it would make more sense if it was, I was accused of a crime I didn't commit or something. I was betrayed by my brother.
Lord Trian?
No, Balin. Trian is dead.
I see. The brutal intrigue of the Dwarven court continues then. Your father intimated as much. There is no reason for you to walk these deep roads and die for something you did not do. You've already proven yourself both resourceful and skilled, and I would expect nothing less from an Idukan. I've been searching for those with your level of ability. Your exploits in the deep roads set you apart. As leader of the Grey Wardens in Ferelden, I would like to formally invite you to join our order.
I think basically he's got the same decision as Amladan from the Daily Shelf Origin. Die, possibly die joining the Grey Wardens, or definitely die here. So yes, I would be honoured.
Then welcome. We leave immediately for Ostagar to join with the human forces facing the Darkspawn hordes led by King Kaelan. Stay close. There are still Darkspawn around every corner. We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
And Darkspawn above and below.
King Kaelan, I didn't expect
a royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
There's no need to be so formal, Duncan. We'll be shedding blood together after all. Ho there, friend. Might I know your name?
Can we skip the introductions? I am Drogrim. Drogrim, my Duke and Your Majesty.
Pleased to meet you. The Grey Wardens are desperate to bolster their numbers, and I, for one, am glad to help them. It's good to see one of the honourable stout folk outside Orzammar.
You must not have met many members of the Noble Cast. Leaving Orzammar wasn't my idea. How much do you know about the dwarves? Yes, leaving Orzammar wasn't exactly my idea.
Sounds like there's a story behind that. You must regale me with it sometime.
Don't you have a battle to fight first? It might be good for him to hear the story. It might give him some thought. Give him some thoughts, if Your Majesty wishes.
I do. I'll make sure to have the finest dwarven brew brought up from the palace cellars. After we've dealt with the blight, of course. I've been to Orzammar. King Endrin invited my father to a grand proving long ago. How does Endrin fare these days?
I am his son, and he was fine when I saw him last.
Well, it seems your story may be even more interesting than I suspected. Allow me to be the first to welcome you to Ostagar. The Wardens will benefit greatly with you in their ranks.
You're too kind, Your Majesty.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
Sounds like the Blight is almost over. I think he'll say that, and he'll be a bit sad about it, because if there's a Blight, that means more Darkspawn down in Orzammar. It sounds like the Blight is almost over then.
I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an arch.
Alas.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the Tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here.
He didn't seem to take the Darkspawn very seriously. As someone who's fought them regularly, well, not regularly, but has fought them already, seems to be a point.
True. Despite the victories so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
Then maybe we should move quickly. What would you have him do? I don't know what that would be saying. Would that be removing him as king? I don't know. Move quickly to do what? I think it might be because, like, the whole kind of betrayal thing, which I don't think we should do. Which I don't think he'd talk about. He's not worried by backroom dealing, but kind of backstabbing is kind of slightly different. And what would you have him do then?
Wait for reinforcements. We sent a call out west to the Grey Wardens of Orlais, but it will be many days before they can join us. Our numbers in Ferelden are too few. We must do what we can and look to turn Loghain to make up the difference. To that end, we should proceed with the joining ritual without delay.
A hot meal might be nice first.
I agree. We have until nightfall to begin the ritual. Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
What do you need me to do?
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Until then, I have business I must attend to. You may find me at the Grey Warden tent on the other side of this bridge, should you need to.
Alright, there we go. Kinslayer. We didn't do any kinslaying. You lie, game. You lie. So, oi, this is my spec. Oi. I was actually thinking, I quite like this plot. It's this story. There we go. No. Oh, trying to get into my sensible position. No, too close. Too close. Whoa, this does not like me doing what I normally do. There we go. We'll go there. So I kind of like this story. I mean, it's kind of the classic talky bit, combatty bit kind of thing. I'm just trying to think, how often is betrayal a thing in these origins that we've had? I think it's only really been the nobles, the human noble and the dwarf noble, that we've had that. Slightly subverted, maybe with the human mage, when you, like, because I went to Irving, and basically he was like, yes, totally, you should betray Jowan. So it's kind of, betrayal is in those three, in a way. So I can see that kind of being a thing. Which, as then we go on to see Lagain, there we've got a bit more of the betrayal aspect. It's kind of interesting. It's interesting also because redemption's kind of a plot to this game as well. If you look at so you've got Jowan when you're in Redcliffe. You've got Zathrian to an extent. I don't think there's anyone in the circle that's like that. Off the top of my head. So it'd be interesting to watch Rangers stuff and see what happens to a dwarf noble going back to Orzammar. How does that work out with the whole redemption aspect? And it'll also be interesting just to see if this playing through this origin affects my decision on who to side with in my main playthrough, the main story. That's going to be interesting to see what happens. I've kind of enjoyed playing this character. I think, as I said, this character was going to be a bit more kind of snobbish and arrogant, and he's become a bit more kind of negotiation, manipulative kind of character, while still being a good guy. Because I can't play evil characters. They turn good in the end because I can't play evil for some reason. So yeah, that's interesting. Also, I have boots. I need to rewatch Rangers just to make sure that I'm not making something up. I'm fairly sure he nicked Alistair's boots. Because he hadn't found any, but we have a pair. Yes, get in. That is such a petty thing to consider a victory. But in the end, this is the end of Drogrim's story. Farewell, Drogrim. Farewell, Drogrim. You did not manage to leave Orzammar. Or maybe you did, and that was rumours of the Blight from some time ago. Who knows? I don't, because I just kind of randomly make up things as I go along. But in the end, next time we'll be back in Orzammar. We've heard this from one of Haramont's followers, so who knows how accurate this is? Who knows? I've probably a little bit. Probably there'll be elements of truth to it. The stuff that can be backed up by witnesses. But in the end, by Drogrim, it's kind of been interesting playing through this. And doing the thing with Merlin for the A Tale of Orzammar. But in the end, thanks for watching, everyone. Thanks for watching.